a take,
Yes.
because she would ask me,
Yes.
is that vessel gone? Because she was so concerned about providing relief to the people in the Southeast region, and having a port of entry, that would allow vessels to come and bring the core products and services there. So we were able to bring in the first log vessel in December 2011. And now we can boast that between 2012 and 2013, our vessel count increased 490% in Greenville. I think you went down there, you saw that we've built a CCTV room there. We have, placed lightings from the gate into the port. We're doing a lot of landscaping, thanks to Golden Valorium.
The pier has 10 poles.
Yes.
Each has 800 watts.
Yes.
And the manager, the port manager, is so proud of that.
Yes.
He said to me, in the nighttime here, it's like day.
Yes.
So he's proud of that.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but when I took over, actually, my first visit to Greenville Port, they were sitting under the tree.
Yeah.
They were sitting under the tree, and I sat there with them. But I also vowed that we had to change that. It didn't make sense. And so we've done a lot of work, but my goodness, we still have we have a lot more to do, And so, Greenville is active now, especially with the logging. We are looking forward to working with Golden Valorium on bringing oil palm, into the port. And we're still working along with the different agencies to bring in core products such as water and fuel. And so that in the event anything should happen to the Port of Monrovia, you can always use any of the other ports as an alternative. And then you have the Port of Buchanan.
Before going to Buchanan, I was at a port, as you already mentioned, with the PM, Dr. Wiles, and I asked him one question. What are your incoming plans? What do you intend to do here, since you have boasted that the MD has given you a brand new office? In fact, he boastfully said to me, you see that building over there? I said, which one? The upstairs building. I said, yeah. So the next time you come back here, maybe in 1 month from now, 1 month time from now, you're not going to see me here. You will climb the stairs to see me.
Yes.
He boasted. Yes. But then he also told me about a container park that will take about 500 containers that you're planning to put down there.
That's correct.
He also told me about a multi-purpose office building.
Yes.
Where they're going to have the FDA, different offices.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. In the Port of Monrovia, we have what we call the one-stop shop.
Yeah.
We have a partial one-stop shop in the Port of Buchanan. And so we're establishing one of the same in the Port of Greenville, where you have customs, you have immigration, you have port health, you have then all of the agents like UMACO, the people who will support the vessels, and you have a bank, because at the end of the day they have to pay. So like Monrovia, you have Central Bank, you have LBDI, you have EcoBank, and you have FIB. And so in the Port of Greenville, we're right now working with FIB in moving into that port, and I'm sure the others will come as well. But that's the purpose of that, to ensure that all of the key government agencies have an office, so that customers don't have to go from one office to another. Just in one building, they can have all of the documentation handled and signed off, and they can pick up their products and leave.
Before the dredging, when you took over your dredging port, they used to only receive one vessel, which is called a carina.
Yes.
That was the only vessel that used to come in only once a month.
Yes.
But after you did the dredging, Dr. Wiles can boast of 18 vessels now per month, maybe 8, 9 per month, when he used to only get 18 a whole year.
Yes.
But then he also told Flashpoint that there's a plan to do a new pier.
Yes.
Right now the pier that is there takes about 2 large vessels, plus a smaller one at the same time. But he told us about a new pier that is supposed to be built very soon, in 3, 4, 5 months' time. Now, what is the plan for that?
We've completed the design of that plan, and in fact, we will be working along with our future tenants, such as Golden Valorium, to review the plan and decide on how it's going to be implemented to make sure it satisfies all of their needs. So Greenville is really moving along. We're pretty proud of the achievements there. From a crime perspective, they've been pretty crime-free, in that port, and I attribute it to the solid securities that we have there. And so we're looking forward to inviting more investors into Greenville, and I know that Hutu will probably be using the port to bring in a lot of the heavy equipment, and so we're in dialogues with them right now on the volume that they are going to be doing in that port. So I think we're really looking forward to seeing, Greenville, really grow. So I think the leadership there have really pushed a lot of positive things. I was also saying, thanks to Golden Valorium, we have planted pine trees, all along there. And so what that does, it helps to decrease the flooding, because the roots of the plant actually, get to hold the ground in. And so the loggers are just really, really good tenants. Every time, we need to do something with the roads inside the port, they've been willing to loan us their equipment,
Since we don't have much time, let's go to Buchanan, but let's tell you also that we saw a 141 feet fence, very long,
yes,
where they say it is there to prevent
yes,
people from the sea
shoreline fence.
getting into the place there. We're
Yes.
very proud of that too. But let's go to Buchanan.
Okay, so
Before you start with Buchanan, we were pleased to hear on the radio
Mhm.
that for the first time in 20 years, you received a container vessel
Yes.
at the port. How true is that?
Very, very true. And in fact, I think one is scheduled there on the 5th of this month. So it's probably
And that's on Saturday.
yes.
We hope to be there to capture that. It's
Yes,
important.
yeah.
After 20 years, you got a vessel there for the first container vessel.
Yes.
We hope to capture that. But go ahead. What is happening at Buchanan?
So for the 4th time, it's come to Buchanan. And when container vessels come into a port, it helps the roads because you're not bringing containers from Monrovia and taking them all the way to Greenville. Instead, that container vessel or that vessel can dock right in the nearest port. And all you would then need to do is take a truck to the location. So we're really, excited about bringing in, container vessels into the port of Buchanan. We also have plans in Buchanan to establish a container park. So even though container vessels are coming there, what we want to do is make sure that we have something very sophisticated with, elevated land so that, water can, leak into the containers. So that's on our plan. We're also right now completing the design of the logistical show base in Buchanan. We started this effort about 2.5 years ago. And what that is really an area of land that will support the oil and gas industry. So the vessels that are offshore, allowing them to be able to come in port to be able to collect the appropriate products and services they need. We are also working with the group in Guinea to establish a conveyor system to allow them to be able to export the ore from Guinea out of the port of Buchanan. We had started working with the National Investment Commission to review the document for establishing a special economic zone authority. So just how you have to free zone in the port of Monrovia, although right now it's being occupied by UMMIL, but it's an area where you have factories and you support large companies such as HP. They could come here to assemble all of the products for their computers, and you give them a tax break in doing so because of the volume of people they employ. Okay. So the government is really pushing the establishment of a special economic zone in Buchanan. So we're working on the layout of all of that. ArcelorMittal has increased their export of iron ore, so that is occurring. We're also looking at additional berthing space in Buchanan. Because of all of the activities I've just named, we expect more vessels to come in port, and what we don't want is to have vessels waiting for a long period of time outside of our waters. That's not very good, and those are the things that actually attract pirates. Because if you just have vessels sitting out there inactive, the important thing here is we don't want that to happen. So what we want to do is ensure that we have adequate berthing space so that our vessels can come in and out, as needed. We are doing a lot of training of our people on the security side as well as operational. Very proud of the people in Buchanan. They are also at security level 1.
We're coming to the ISPS. We'll come to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk about the canteen a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
Very proud of Patrick and his team. They've put a canteen together. They've put a conference room together, at the port of Buchanan, and that allows them to have their shipping meetings in there. But I think it's also a strong message to the county that the National Port Authority is ready and focused on doing business in that county, and we're looking forward to expanding. So one of the things I actually mentioned to Patrick is that the thing about leadership is innovation. And I'm so proud of him for being such an innovative leader and always.
And he's proud of you too.
Thank you.
All of them call you the visionary.
There we go.
Including Brisbane, your security
man.
Yes.
Now that's a tough one to get credit
the
from.
The port manager said that. In fact, the port manager just said she's far-sighted. She's a visionary. Patrick said the same thing. And I invited Brisbane and his entire security team. They all said the same thing.
There we go.
So you're on top of things.
Thank you.
The program is Flashpoint. Liberia is getting better, and I'm David Cote. Today we are here with the MD, or the Managing Director of the National Port Authority, the Honorable Matilda Parker. W, what is the W for? Wookie, okay. All right. Now, what is your major achievement that you can boast of? We know that you have done so well. We haven't touched Maryland yet. We just talked about just 2. But the 2, the records are impressive. But what major? We haven't come to Monrovia yet. We know a lot of things are happening here. We know we have a lot of questions. We can't touch all of the ports now. But what major achievement, just one, that you can really post up and say, well, this is what I can knock my chest on?
Keeping our ports stabilized. Because if you read about ports around the world, strike action is very, very popular. And the fact that we have been able to work together with the employees to keep our ports open, and to keep our ports safe, and to keep the economy stabilized as far as those things. I think it has been a tough achievement that I can't take all the credit for. I must also thank the employees for joining the vision, and recognizing how important it is for our ports to remain open, our employees to remain focused, our employees to focus on bettering themselves through training and corporate development. So I think if I had to select one thing, that's what it would be.
Okay, thank you. In Liberia, we say behind every successful man, there's a strong woman. Being that the MD of the National Port Authority is very successful, she's making her workers proud. Everywhere we go, they say good things about her. But we want to know about the board. Is your board proactive? Is it dormant? Or in between there? What kind of board do you have?
I think I can boast of having one of the most active boards there is. And a lot of times people think, my board is easy. But no, my job is to understand the people I work for. And be proactive in letting them know what it is they need to know and provide them what they need to help them make decisions. One thing I know, I can call on them at any time. And for most boards, every time you call them, they want a sitting fee and they want this. Not my board. My board, they're willing to help me. They're willing to provide guidance, even not in the boardroom. a lot of them I can actually call mentors because they all bring certain strengths to the table.
Okay.
So I do call on them for guidance depending on their area of specialty. And so within the board, we have board committees.
Okay.
And so there's a committee over human resource issues, there's a committee over operations, there's a finance committee, you know, there's an audit committee. And so the important thing is when I have questions, you know, or something's not, you know, seems a little odd,
Yeah.
and I need guidance.
Somebody
you know,
is there.
Yes,
Okay.
I give them a call
Yeah.
and I ask for their assistance and I ask for guidance. So I do use them, and maybe I misuse them.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think so. I really look to them to provide me guidance. You know, a lot. You know, they don't dictate how I operate on a day-to-day basis. But what they do is they do provide me with information on what they think we need to be able to do better, you know. And to be frank with you, I have a tough board. If you sit in the board meetings and you hear some of the questions, they are not easy. They are not easy. So they do challenge me a lot.
Okay.
And so because of that, people know, my office know that the day I have a board meeting, you clear my calendar. I see nobody because I'm preparing to meet my board. You know, I'm preparing the level of detail that I feel the need. And I don't start that day.
Yeah.
I start a few days before that.
Yeah.
And so the days we have a board meeting here, they're pretty tense.
Yes, I know.
Because we're running around
All right.
trying to proactively make copies of what